Hello everyone, and welcome back to probably the last video of this section. So we've talked about how to search records, we've talked about how to add records, we talked about how to display records, we've also talked about how to try and catch them. Now what we're going to do is one last thing is we're going to try to figure out a way that we can create a way to delete data. So we want to delete data now. So let's close this out here, and let's do right click, new file, and once again we'll try to keep this consistent. One inventory, and this one will be delete records. Oh, you know what, I guess I need to figure out what kind of file I need to make it. I don't want it to be SQL, I want it to be Python. So let me see if I can find Python. There we go. Almost forgot. Alright, let's see. Hold on, I don't know if that accepted that way. Let me delete this. Do it again. Yeah, sure. Line inventory delete.py. We'll just call it that this time. Alright, so let's get started. This is a big one. Alright, so now for the first time we're actually going to use a library. So let me clear this out here real quick. So, alright, sorry I had to step away for a second there. Alright, so let's get started. Let's see here, it's going to be a little bit different. Let's start off with, let's talk about what this program does. Well, let's create an actual legacy. So a legacy is something along this lines. I'll put created by, well, actually let's do this, author, can't even spell, and then we'll put created date, and I'll put what is today's date? And then I'll put modify date, and then you leave that open, and then description, and then we'll put this program allows the user to purge a record in the file name. Alright, so now let's get started. So we'll import our first library. It's called the OS. This is, oops, let's put, hold on here. So this right here is, if I can spread this out a little bit, I think I can. This is coming from the framework, so it's part of the operating system. So do that there. Oh, something's wrong. Oops. Let me see something here, make sure I'm not losing my mind. Alright, I just want to make sure I wasn't losing my mind. Let me just try something real quick. Okay. I was trying to make sure I wasn't doing a comment there, commenting something out. Alright, so let's do def main. We will do create a bool variable to use as the flag again. So we'll do the same thing we did in the previous video. We will do item located. Let's do item, let's keep it located, equals false. Now we need to get the file name to delete. So we'll do search equals input. I don't want little strings in here, we want those guys here. Which line do you want to purge? You could put purge, delete, whatever, it's the same thing. So I will put this and enter. Alright, so now we need to open the file name, file. So what we'll do is we'll call it wine file again. Just keep it the same. File equals open. Then we'll put the name of the file, which is called wine inventory.txt. And once again, we're going to read it. And we're going to do something different here. We're going to we're going to create a temp file. So we're going to open the temporary file. So certain cases you use a temporary file for certain reasons and purposes, whatever. In this case, we're going to create a temp file. This temp file is going to be used in our purpose here. So let's scroll up a little bit here. Let me scroll up so you guys can see. All right, open file. So now we're going to do temp file, and we're going to say equals open, and we're going to have temp.txt, which we haven't created. No big deal, because what we're going to do, since we don't have it, we're going to do a W, and once W do, it writes the file. Okay. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm standing far back here. All right, so we're writing the file. All right, what else are we doing? We need to read the first record description field. So like before, we're going to do the script equals the file name, wine inventory dot text. Actually, I lied. It's a wine file. Jeez, I did this last time. Dot read line. Okay. So now we need to read the rest of the file. So we're doing a loop. So this one right here, this delete, is going to be like the search a little bit. Very similar to it. Okay. All right. So we're going to say while description doesn't equals, you know what? Let's do something here. Let's copy and paste instead of writing all this code out. So let's see what we could grab from here, because we're going to have the while, we have description, and we'll change that. We're going to have type equals wine. We're going to read. We're going to strip this guy off like we did before. We're going to say if the description equals a search. Okay, so let's just copy, and we're going to do that, and then we're going to do description equals, okay. So let's copy this. We're going to make life easy. Let's not write code that we don't have to write again. Nobody wants to keep writing over and over. So we're going to paste this in here. We are going to change this to description, because that's what we used in the last one. All right, so while description doesn't equal, type equals wine, read line, description, this is perfect right here. So this is exactly what we're doing here. We're stripping it. But let's see here. We're going to change this here. So we're determining if the record is what we want to purge. So we're saying, hey, if the description doesn't equal the search, so we're going to do something different here. So we're going to do doesn't equals the search. So if it don't equal the search, what we're going to do is, let's put it here. We're going to write the record to a temp file. Okay. So we're saying, hey, if it doesn't equal the search, we're going to write it to temp file anyways. So now this stuff right here is going to be a little different. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to wipe this out. It's fine. So we're going to do temp file dot write, and we're going to say the description plus new line. Okay. There we go. And then we're going to do temp file dot write, and we're going to do str for string, quantity, and we're going to do a plus, And we're going to do a new line. Except for quantity, I'm losing my mind here. We want type. Okay, so we have description type. Now we need an else here. We say else, and then we set item located equals true. Now we need to read the description. We're saying description equals the wine file dot read line. That's good. Now we need to do a couple other things. We need to close these files. We don't have that in here, so we're going to close a couple files now. Close the file and the temp file. So we have two files are closed. Okay. So we're going to do the wine file dot close. You don't want to leave any objects open because it will cause performance issues. And then we want to take the temp file. Oops, dot close. Okay. So now we're closing this file as well. Now we need to delete the original file name. So that would be our what is it called? Wine inventory.txt file. So we take OS for operating system, remove, and then we'll do, in this case, we're removing, and it's automatically knows where to pass that. We don't have to define what the path is. So we're going to say, in this example, we're going to say wine inventory.txt. Okay, and it deletes the original file. Then we want to rename the temporary file. See, all this stuff that we're doing is things that you would actually do if you were doing something like this. You're preventing bad things from happening. You know, you could create backups and everything like that. In this case, we're just doing something called massaging. So we're doing os.rename. So now we're going to rename the file. We're going to say, hey, let's rename the temp.txt file, and let's call it wine inventory.txt. So what are we doing here? So if we scroll up to our program here, we come in here and we search. We're like, which wine do you want to purge? All right, so let's say that we said we wanted to purge a Pinot Noir. So we open file, we read it, we open the temp file, and we write. So we're creating this new file. Now we read the first record, spell, description field equals wine field 1, wine file read line. So then we read the rest of it and we say, hey, while the description does not equal blank, which is good, let's keep reading stuff. But we're saying, hey, if the description does not equal search, let's say that we're searching for Pinot Noir, but what are other files that do not exist? All right, so if we go back over here, we have the Pinot Noir, we have the Riesling, we have the Cabernet Franc, the Chardonnay, the Semi-Gloss, the Pinot. So let's say that all these other ones, the Riesling, the Cab Franc, the Chardonnay, the Pinot, those guys will move to this temporary file. You see where it's going here? You're taking two files and you're keeping one. Okay, so what it does is it moves everybody to the temp file except the Pinot Noir, and then later on, I must have an error here, I see. Later on, what it does is it's doing a rename. So it's renaming this to wine inventory, removing the wine inventory, so that it looks like you have a file that was removed. So no, there's different ways of doing this, but this is the way that we're doing it for here. So let's see what is going on here. Temp file close. So let me complete my program, and maybe that's the problem. All right, so now let's move on here. Let's say if the search value was not found in the file. So now we need to display a message. We'll say if item, what do we call item located? Yeah, see, it's saying, hey, it's not being used. Now we're going to use it. If item located print, and we could put the file has been updated. And then we could put else print. We could say that item was not found in the file. And then lastly, we need to call our function. And then we'd have main. Alright, something is off here. Alright, that's spelled wrong. Alright, so we have a problem here. It's because this is indented and shouldn't be indented. Python's role specific. That's more specific than Java. Alright, let's see if this guy works now. Alright, so what do you want to do? We want to purge the Pinot Noir. File's been updated. Alright, so let's see here. Wow, look at this. So what's nice that's the search. What's nice about the delete, we never even seen the temp file be created. It does it on the fly. And look at this. We have the reason, the Cab Franc, the Chardonnay. All these guys are still here. Alright, so I do have Chardonnay spelled wrong. I'm fixing that. So now what it did is it created that and it has it like that. Now it's not pretty looking, but you get the gist because we changed it around a little bit. But this right here is how you purge something. So pretty crazy, but that is going to be the end of my tutorials on how to add file information. So hopefully you got a lot out of this. There's a lot here to conquer. So if you have any problems, questions, you know how to reach me, YouTube or my college email. All right, have a good day. Thanks. Bye.